What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be working on the EF sedan. Now, I mentioned in a couple of videos that we were going to work on the fuel cell, but I think I'm just going to hold off on the fuel cell a little bit because I want to lay it out even more and go through it thoroughly so I know what it is that I'm actually doing so I can explain it to you guys. I'm going to change the layout a little bit opposed to how I did it in my red all-wheel drive CRX, a little bit different than the H2B CRX, and you know, I have to go through it thoroughly, obviously check to make sure I have all the parts on hand so we're not running around 10 days into one video, and we'll take care of it hopefully later this week. If you guys saw some of the previous videos, we finally got the EF sedan on the floor on all fours. We drove it around. It feels good. It sounds great. And we don't have a front bumper. I'll show you guys. We don't have a front bumper, right? And today I want to put the front bumper on just to make it a little bit more complete. But before I put the bumper on, I want to put the intercooler on. Why? Because once I put the bumper on, it's probably not going to come off for a long while until we get to like bodywork and paint. So to prevent me from doing this twice later, I'd rather put the intercooler on now, put the bumper on, and then possibly build a charge pipe as well. The last one that we need is from the intake manifold throttle body to the intercooler. Hopefully we have material. I haven't checked my bin if I have anything lying around to make one, but that is the goal for today. So with that being said, guys, we're just gonna dive right into it. Let's get to work. Today is a beautiful day. A little overcast right there on the east side, but we got some nice sunny clouds on this end, but it is a little bit windy and we have the tarp up, so it's gonna make some noise, and I apologize now for that. But I'm gonna go ahead and get the car up in jack stands to make my life a little bit easier and bring the entire car up so we can work with the intercooler and getting the bumper all nice and fitted. I love this freaking 6-ton jack stands from Daytona Harbor Freight. Puts the car up really high on the low setting, and that means I can get this thing up super high, maybe able to sit underneath the car crisscross applesauce. But let's get the intercooler. I gotta take off my hood pin. Yup. Oh my goodness. With the filler piece, this thing looks super tucked in. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Put it on 2, send it with some uggers. Just 2 bolts on the bottom. Pretty secured. Once we have the charge pipe both connected to the intercooler, it's going to be more firm. And then once the bumper goes on, it kind of sits really close to the core. So that's going to keep it from like really rocking around. And I'm hoping that there's no rattle. But even then, I don't even care. My twin disc rattles a lot. Got to clean whatever this doo-doo is. I debated on painting the intercooler black, which is what I normally do to keep it stealth. But this car, I was able to keep the bumper grill uncut. So I'm gonna leave it raw like that, because, you know what I'm saying? It's a sleeper. Like, with it not exposing through the bumper already, it's already a sleeper. If I paint it black, nobody's gonna know. But I'm gonna leave it silver just cause, like, oh damn, it's turbo too. Need to install this top charge pipe to get a reference to where the intake manifold charge pipe is going to go to. So simple enough, it's going to go right down to the bottom of the intercooler, and I'm going to have to like move these out of the way a little bit, something like that, just to give me an idea of how much space, whether I should be going this way or that way. On my wagon, it goes over the radiator hose, so I might try to keep it the same. I don't remember what couplers I bought, so let's grab that real quick. 2.5 90 to 2.5. This one 3" to 2.5, and a bunch of T-bolts. So with this coupler here, 3" to 2.5, it looks like we're just gonna go straight across and down. On the Blueberry, it has a 3" to 2.5 45, which then points the pipe underneath the radiator hose, because we have a half core in the Blueberry and the top radiator hose sits taller, so we went underneath it. Because this is a tuck, it's just lower, we're just gonna go straight across and down. Oh man, I thought that was a paint scratch. Just a piece of leaf. I'm not using any T-bolt clamps right now, just mocking everything up, and the charge pipe is not going to be on until turbo kit goes on anyway, so none of these need to be secured as of right now. Alrighty, I need to see what I have because I don't remember what I have. Oh snap, definitely low on inventory here. This right here, I don't want to cut it because it can be an intake if I wanted to, or it can be a charge pipe if I wanted to, so I'm gonna keep that as a whole. We have a bunch of black piping, which I mean I'm okay with grinding it down because you make do with what you have. And I do have this guy here, it's also 45, but this is coated. I hate coats, but you know what I'm saying, we just work with it. Okay, well it looks like everything else is just black piping. I need to buy more and stock more aluminum pipings because I used to have a bunch of them, but you know, when I do a lot of work for people in my own cars, you use up your inventory. It looks like we're gonna need a 90 coming from the coupler, coming up 90 right here. It's gonna be a short little straight and then a 45 into the throttle body. So these two is going to be our top piece, and I ended up cutting a new piece here because the original one that I cut off, I don't really like the bead roll on it and it looks kind of boo-boo. So I cut it off, put a new piece on it, and made it a little longer so that way we can go as far in as possible before touching the valve. And the bottom from the intercooler going up, probably going to use this guy. I'm going to have to trim it down a little bit so we have some space between this charge pipe. So quickly show you guys, that's butted up right there. And this, I don't know if it sits up or if it sits down, but I do want to tuck this in a little bit closer to pull it away from this one. So it looks like I'm gonna have to probably chop off, I don't know, ½ an inch, give it a full inch gap. And I'm gonna go ahead and just mark it out now and do just that, and then we'll trim the top. We got to figure out another 90. That's not a full 90, so I don't know if I want to waste this pipe to make it a 90. I do have some pies in here, I think. Yeah, I got some pies in here. Maybe I'll put a pie to make the 90 coming up right here, so we can have some pies to match that pie. And yeah, anyways, let's go ahead and cut this. Get a worm clamp, put it on there. My eyeball ½ an inch, shoot it down, mark it out. This will help you cut it straight when you're using a vertical bandsaw freehand like me. And there's our line. Perfect. So I'm gonna have this one point straight up and down with the one in the back. And then this is gonna go all the way to where the weld is gonna be at. So I'm gonna line that up to the coupler. So probably somewhere right there. Probably give it a little slack, right? Perfect line every time. So because this end right here has a bead roll, I use this little flat plate on the opposite end to kind of make this level and then cut it straight. That was scary. So this is gonna go in here all the way to the line. So before I even cut this right here, I'm gonna make my 90 to see how much of a leg we're gonna have on the 90 turn down, and then we'll know where to cut the bottom pipe to match it all up. I did change the routing of my piping a little bit here. You guys saw this was originally pointing straight towards the reservoir, and then I said 90 down, 90 under. But I have it angled downward because I didn't want it to be 90, hit a wall 90. I'd rather have it have a smooth transition with the 45 right there. So this is the last piece that I need to go down low. Which way did I have this? Here we go. And that slips on there just like that. All right, time to prep this entire piping and get it all tacked up, test fit. It looks good. We'll fully weld it up. Got the charge pipe all tacked up, and I'm going to test fit it before we fully weld it up. That right there is our upper charge pipe. All right, guys, so we have our upper charge pipe all welded up, and we have this end right here to the throttle body all bead rolled, thanks to this tool right there from one of you guys who sent it to the PO box. I appreciate you. This one's already bead rolled, so I'm not worried about it. Now we can mock up our charge pipe so we can figure out our placement for the blow valve. This straight one goes on the intercooler. This one has to go under the charge pipe before putting it into the car. Which way is it? This way. It's a really tight fit, so it's going to be hard to maneuver it over. I just flat it up right there. This goes on, butt it all the way through. This swings over, and then simply just slide the coupler over to get it connected, just like that. Charge pipe in place, clearance right here. You have clearance down there. And let's go find my blowout valve. I have two tile blowout valve. One of it is here, right here, silver one. I'm not sure if I want to run a silver one, and I don't have a flange here anyways. I have a purple one as well, but that's probably in the storage. I think I have one up there somewhere. Yeah. Yes, sir. This right here is a max peaking rod blowout valve, and I've actually had this sitting up there for quite a while because I like to keep inventory. They're not that expensive and they work great. This is definitely one of those things I'll buy, you know, on a budget because it works well. And you know, today we need a flange because I don't have one, so we have that right here. Probably just going to run it. I mean, it works and sounds just like a real tile cue. Don't get me wrong though, I love quality parts, but I mean, we might change it. I just prefer to have a black one, and this is the only one that I have that's black. And we have a stainless clamp right here, as well as all the fittings and O-rings. We're not going to need any of those right now, but you know, let's go ahead and mock this up somewhere in the engine bay. Well, I need the clamp though. After cutting and cutting and cutting and cutting, we got this fitted up to be placed right here, almost flush. I got to cut down the welds in order to get it a little more flusher, but I think when I have it right there, we are clear from the back charge pipe and the coolant reservoir. Give or take, it's going to be like somewhere like that. I was going to put this like down low just to hide it and use my silver tile just so it's not like a, you know, sore eye, because I think all my charge pipes are going to be black. So I was going to put this down low right there, straight shot to the vacuum source on the intake manifold, and just kind of have it out of the way. But you know, if I took the coolant apart, whatever, I didn't want like coolant to seep into the blow valve. I don't want that. And you know, it's a nice spot, but I think, you know, just to make it look cool sitting up here, this is where my wagon is sitting at too, so I think I'm just going to have it right there. We do have clearance to the radius support, which I'm sure will clear the hood. And I'm going to go ahead and just kind of mark this all up and weld this on. Guys, my drill, man, it needs to be retired, and my batteries are freaking dead, and also my hole saw dull as hell. So I usually weld the flange on with the pipe not cut through, because I use it for like a backing plate so we don't burn through a thin aluminum. Once we get it all welded up, we drill it through, and it took us a little while, but I got it cut out, this guy right here, and then I use my Harbor Freight belt sander to clean up the inside, all the burrs and edges, nice and smooth now, ready to install. Now the only other thing I need to install on this pipe is the IAT sensor flange. It's supposed to show up today, but my mail guy has not shown up. It's like 7 o'clock right now, and I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to weld that tonight, but I'm not worried about it, because this is not going to be permanent to the car tonight, because we're keeping it all motor until we get to the turbo stuff. Then we'll install all of this. So for right now, I just want to mock it up for you know, some picture purposes. So I'm going to go ahead and get the BOV on and get this back into the car. So anyways, guys, we have the charge pipe all set and done, aside from the IAT sensor, and the intercooler is permanently in place. I will put this T-bolt on, because this is on the outside of the radius support, so it won't be accessible from the inside. So probably gonna put the T-bolt there. This one I can access it from the inside of the car or in between the traction bar going up right here. I'm not worried about that. But yeah, let's get the bumper on. So I'm actually going to be switching this to the aftermarket one, because we're not going to do bodywork and paint for a while, and the white one is a sore eye opposed to the rest of the car, where the aftermarket one that I have is black, so it's a little more sleek. Got to secure these brackets right here so they don't come slipping off. These are the OEM ones. They're like clear and orange, but I do have brand new clear ones here. Probably gonna install them later. For now, we're gonna use the OEM ones. Honestly, I was debating if I want to put on my T-bracket right now. I mean, damn, it looks good. I just want to leave it off just so I can like fit my arm in between for when I need to do whatever back here still, like vacuum lines and all that. So I don't necessarily need it on right now, but damn, I can see that. Ooh, bumper, lights, everything all installed, dude. I'm just gonna leave it off for right now, just for right now. So because the charge pipes aren't going to be in here permanently right now, I'm just going to go ahead and take it off while the car is still high so I don't go freaking leaning over if I was to put it onto the floor. So this guy comes out. Bottom one also comes out. And this coupler right here. This car is looking like a complete vehicle once again. This thing sat for so many years from the previous owner, and damn, another EF saved, man. I'm super stoked. The gunmetal, the black bumper, the black filler piece, man, it all works together. Oh my goodness, dude, I'm super stoked. Oh man, I need to get going on that lip. It just needs a little more filler work, and then we can paint it like the rest of the bumper so we don't have that primer spot right there. But oh, I'm super excited, dude. Guys, I think we're gonna wrap it up for this video. The sedan is almost ready for the streets. Almost ready for the streets because we still need to do the alignment. But today was not a short, but it was a fun task for me. We installed the intercooler. We did the charge pipe for the intake with the blow-off valve, and we installed the front bumper with all the lamps. I'm still waiting for my rear lower control arm from PCI to show up, as well as my PCI toe link. We already have the front PCI lower control arm, and the block suspension has been sitting on the floor right there for the longest time. Once all that shows up, we'll get the entire front suspension buttoned up, and then we can take it to the Homie Nilo to get the alignment done, and then after the alignment, it's ready to drive on the street. The last big thing I need to do before the turbo kit is the fuel cell. I'm gonna lay that out on the table like I mentioned and go through the plans thoroughly before we tackle it, hopefully the next couple of days, and get that all situated as well before we install the entire turbo kit. Aside from all the fun stuff coming up here in the next couple of weeks for you guys, I'm super stoked that the car is looking super complete. Opposed to how we first got it, no engine, interior packed to the roof. Dude, it's a running, driving car again with a K-swap. I'm stoked. I'm super stoked. I'm so excited. I don't know how to express it. Like, I sold my sedan I had for 9 years, 2014 February, and you know, it's crazy to say that, you know what I'm saying, we have not one but two EF sedan back in the fleet. I can stare at this car all day long, you know, but so anyways, guys, we're gonna wrap it up right here. I hope you guys enjoyed the progress update on the EF sedan build with the intercooler on and the bumper on. This thing is definitely a sleeper, man. So if y'all enjoyed the progress on this car today in this video, be sure to leave a thumbs up. And if you guys want to stick around for more progress on the car, I think we might do the fuel cell. If you guys want to stick around and see all of that shebang, be sure to hit the subscribe button. But with that being said, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.